one.
Do you need video or
Okay.
just the sound is okay?
Yeah, it's just
Okay.
sound. Just sound. Yeah. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Paperless podcast. Today, with me, I have a new co-host. Is a guy that worked with me. His name is Saslagar. Hey, Saslagar, how you doing?
Yes, I'm fine, thank you. Yes, that's my name.
Can you do a quick introduction for yourself for everyone that might not know who you are?
Okay, well, I'm Saslagar, and I'm a digital illustrator and comic artist. I'm recently working with two works really, like one that is a novel, illustrated novel, and another one that I'm working with an comic editorial. But for the moment, the principal one is a novel, and that's all, I guess.
Yeah, and if you go to his Instagram page, you will see that he's a really good graphic artist. I told him to do a tattoo for me, so I'm going to get one of his drawings in my skin. So that's how good he is. And today, our guest is Alex. Alex from Salem and Cardistry Touch. So, Alex, can you introduce yourself if anyone doesn't know who you are? That I don't think so, because you're pretty popular.
I don't really.
Just anyways, introduce yourself.
Okay, so hi, I'm Alex. I actually don't know if I'm popular or not. Well, I hope I am because that's how you get your name in the industry at some point if you want to sell something. I created Zalem. Well, first it was Diva playing cards in 2017 and 2018. Then I switched to Zalem after changing the overall feeling and art direction and vision for the project. And it was picked up by Cardistry Touch in middle of last year, and we started working. Launching the Zalem decks together this year, starting in March. And we will keep working together this way. Also, I work for Touch on the Escape 20X, because it will be 21, 22, 23, etc. So once every year. And
I love that deck.
Thanks.
Really good deck.
Thanks. There's another one coming very soon. And I also work as a graphic freelance designer, but I've been pausing this, like taking a huge break this year because it can be a tough work. I don't want to go into too many details, but it can be a pain in the ass sometimes. So I'm taking a break and trying other source of income. So that's why maybe those who follow me haven't seen much my new work on my Instagram account this year. But for Zalem, though, the projects are tight. So that's about me. If you want to know anything more, of course, I can develop.
Oh yeah, we will get into more stuff later. So I just want to touch up on what you said, that the burnout. That's something that is true, because like 1 or 2 years ago, I used to post every single day for a year, and at the end of that, I was empty. I stopped posting for like a year. But the bad thing about that is that the engagement in Instagram drops a lot, because I remember I used to get like 1K likes, and now I get like 100, 200 at most, if it's something super popular or something like that. I don't know if you have seen that in your recent posts.
I've seen that, but I also blamed it on the fact that last year I was kind of off the radar on the Zalem account, so that the likes ratio dropped. And on my personal account, I've seen it, but just a little. So I haven't realized it can be that bad. I don't actually understand why. Maybe because people are switching to TikTok. I don't know. But yeah, I understand how you can feel a little bit broken sometimes after you try posting for a year. I didn't try to post everything every day. I actually never tried it because I know it will be too much, and I have other things to do on this.
Yeah,
I
it
can do
is.
it. And but still, this year I think the biggest trouble to post online, what I do home, like for myself, for my art, I haven't posted much because I kind of I've gotten some I acquired some nice followers that I used to be a fan of, and I started feeling a little bit like an imposter again, and a bit afraid of judgment on Instagram, and also a bit of of the like ratio, as you mentioned. And so I felt like, yeah, just I don't want to put any pressure this year. I'm gonna stop for a while until I feel okay to post again, like pressureless. But it's not happening yet. I just started posting more on my photo account just because it's been occupying me a lot, and it's making me think of other things. But yeah, still gotta pay the bills. So trying to find new ways to make it in either graphic design or anything I'm good at. We'll see.
Yeah, that's true. Because, in my opinion, I find finding jobs in graphic design itself quite hard
Uh,
because
yeah.
uh because most of the jobs, well, where I live, that is in Mexico, most of the jobs that you get as a graphic designer is like making like birthday cards or stuff
Yeah,
like that.
it can be
I,
really.
yeah.
And also when the clients actually, there's Elliot, is a cool guy. I think it's
Oh yeah,
it
his
says,
stuff is so
yeah, because
good.
it's always true. One thing he
Yeah,
says is that
that's true.
his clients become better graphic designers than he is while when they work with him, and that's kind of true. When they start, they kind of when they before they hire you, sometimes they start like reading online to see what they can find that could their personal mood board, and from there, as soon as they hire you, then they somehow they become the best art directors in the world, and they got the best taste and whatever, and the best ideas. And you often have to lower yourself down just so that you are ensured to keep the contract for you or something. Um, and so sometimes you have to give up on good ideas for terrible ideas, and then you don't post anything on your portfolio or whatever because the overall result is shit, and you don't want to tell the client because he really wants it this way,
Yeah.
and you know it's bad, and you explain it many times, and you try your best, but it doesn't work. So in the end, you can't even show it on the portfolio. At least it pays the bills, but it doesn't show on your portfolio, so you cannot pile up enough good work for newer clients who would be more prompt to let you work and listen your ideas.
Yeah, that's true. Like, have you seen the image that says graphic design is my passion?
Oh no.
That is a frog with Comic Sans and like a funky
Oh
background.
yeah. Oh yes, I
So
think
far.
on it.
That's what I feel that I'm doing when I work with someone
Yeah,
that like with a normal client, kind of, because they don't know what looks good, but you have to do it because they are paying you to do it.
yeah. They don't know what is good. They have their own ideas and they don't want to take risks.
Yeah.
So they're like, yeah, I'll still keep my ideas. Like, okay, but like, are you sure? And you kind of argue, not argue. That's not the right word in English. I mean, you discuss and you explain your point.
Yeah, you have to
You
discuss. Yeah.
and you like you pull up all your experience to try and convince or at least keep and have them keep an open eye on your ideas. And sometimes it works. Like when I work for Touch, they have experience and they have eyes. So I mean they have an eye. Sorry, so it works out a lot better. Of course, it's their work. So at some point, I will like if they prefer this instead of that, while that is my preferred option, I will still go for this if this is what they really want. And I'll try to get like something in between so that I'm pleased and so that they are pleased. And so in the end, that's how we work. But there's a lot more freedom with Touch because they well they are in the industry, so they have a better eye and
Yeah.
just a better experience, and they listen to me a lot more. So I also debate a lot more with them, like yeah, sometimes happens because I just want to be sure that we make the best choice. That's why sometimes I can be maybe annoying for them because I keep arguing and arguing. And but they really listen, and I think they kind of uh, they accept my ideas. They really listen, and we try to make compromises when we really have different ideas. Like let's say for marketing, sometimes. Like for marketing, I'll leave it to them because they are much better than me. But I mean, on the visual aspect of marketing, sometimes we can have like a bit of confrontation just because I want to make sure, and I'm stubborn, and so may they listen, and at some point we find a compromise. That's only because they really listen that at the end we find a right compromise for the three of us.
Yeah, like I can definitely relate with that because I remember before I got into the playing card community and industry, I used to do jobs for like family and friends and stuff like that, and it's a pain. It's
Yeah.
definitely a pain
Did they pay you?
because yeah, they
Okay.
pay. Well, my dad
Yeah.
not, but like my friends
okay.
did,
Of
of course. But it's like you want to deliver something really good because my style. I don't know if you have seen my stuff.
Yeah.
It's like very minimal and like modern. Even my posters are really modern, like futuristic type. And I do that, and they are like, nah, I don't want that. I want something like this, and they legitimately show me something similar to the graphic design is my passion meme. And I have to do something similar to that because that's what they want. And like, if I don't do it that way, I'm not getting paid.
So like
But
do you sometimes have jobs when they find you on Instagram and they want you to do what you do best and they just let you work on your
yeah,
Oh,
I was going to get into that. Yeah, with Kevin, because I'm working with Momentum playing cards right now, and a set because I did a deck for 52 cards.
Kevin, because I didn't follow these cards. Momentum. Which Kevin?
Yeah, Momentum playing cards. Kevin Ho.
Oh, Kevin Ho. Okay.
Yeah, his brand Momentum playing cards. I made them for him. I'm working with him on that, and I like working with him because he gives me the freedom to do whatever I want, or like to get whatever input I want. And one time in a live stream, someone asked, "Why don't you do it yourself, Kevin?" And he said, "Like I could, but I do not know how to do it properly because." He basically said that because I'm studying graphic design and I have years of experience and stuff like that. And it's true. Like, it's not hard learning how to use Photoshop or Illustrator or like any program, but it takes time. And it's something that not everyone is willing to invest just to do something they will use one time. And there is where we come in as graphic designers to do the job for them and do it properly because we have experience.
yes.
Are you by the way, so I do remember what momentum cards are. I just forgot that the arrow cards. I thought they were called arrows or something. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Of course,
aerodynamics.
the momentum because they're quite famous. Regarding what you said, um, are you speaking about like sometimes executing just the job of like you find somebody who has a great idea but who doesn't know how to do it, so you can execute the job, but it's like you add your touch and you refine the work, but you're more like executing than creating? It's just a question, because I wasn't sure to understand the point of your.
Yeah, it's that. It's more like executing and creating a little bit by adding some touches or some input into what you're doing.
Okay, so I never took a job similar to this so far because I think I won't be a the proper person for, I mean, to execute. Maybe because I'm too stubborn. So I suppose that fundamentally I will have problems to simply execute the task. How to say this? I think I will have like my own ideas in between, and I will be frustrated not to be able to use them. And so while I'm doing the project, I'm like creating another project on the side. So that's why I think I never took a project like this. But it makes me think, make me rethink about this. Maybe I could eventually go past like this one day. Like, because that's true that's true that learning Photoshop and Illustrator or After Effect or 3D design softwares, it's extremely long. It can take so much time to learn the ways and to make something proper that isn't just noobish. Even though you can still do a lot without mastering the softwares completely, but it's still such a pain in the ass to go through the
Yeah.
learning process
Yes.
that I'm just thinking about the fact that there might be a lot more people just wanting somebody to execute the task. Just like sometimes, like you were presenting Saslagar, and I was like, damn, that sounds like someone I need to hire for illustrative work. I'm always looking for illustrators, and
Oh,
basically, yeah, that's the one yeah, I was speaking about you. Because I want like I have a deck idea, and I know that most of the work will be illustration work, and I'm not the best at it and not the fastest. And so in that kind of job, I will like come up with a pretty defined idea and more like asking somebody to execute with his own touch, of course, and his own sparkle. But yeah, I guess it will be executive work. No, execution work. Sorry, I don't know how to
execution.
say this in English properly so that it's understandable. But
Yeah, it's like working more like
Like a producer or like
uh no, like a creative
great.
director
Yeah,
instead of doing the work yourself. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, basically that.
I still do the work. I like doing the work. If I don't do most of the work, at least, well, half of the work, let's say, I feel like I'm cheating the game because it's my name
Yeah,
on it is
same.
like on the top, and other names come after this. So I try to, if I'm gonna, yeah, it's difficult to name a project also when there are collaborators to put in the light because you don't want people to fall behind somebody else, etc., etc. So you have to credit properly. Um, Sorry, I'm going a little bit
Yeah.
off road.
No, it doesn't matter. Like it's cool. I'm going to send you Saslagar's account so you can see his work. It's really good. Like legitly, it's really
Oh,
good.
thanks.
Yeah, I just got
And
it.
Uh,
I
about
just got it.
this talk, I like a lot of this theme because I don't have that experience by like the ones that I don't like to work, like family and anything, because I'm more passionate with with my work and like and that. And one thing that I like about working with people with knowledge about design and stuff like the editorial, for example, or someone who has that knowledge is like you can learn a lot. Like I was for a bit of time with Pablo in Momentum, and I learned a
Mhm.
lot about that. And I think that's something that it's sometimes invaluable to get, like not just money, but knowledge. Do you
Ah,
have anything like that experience?
totally. Especially with the first agency I worked in. They stopped now because they had the internal product that launched, so they switched to it. But the first experience I had in digital agency was learning a lot, like a shitload, because we were well, I was alone, Okay, and sometimes I had to manage work that could take a team of 6, and I had to deal with the whole work on my own, and it was not exactly possible. So I had to cut short many ways to find something that could work out. And through this, actually, I learned a lot about being sometimes a contrarian, even in your own workspace. Like you have to go against the crowd. And watch,
Yeah.
yeah, actually, the with other clients like those, especially don't listen to you. I'm trying to learn how to like impose myself and my ideas more and more and more. It's still annoying. With touch less. So with touch, I think what I'm learning with touch is actually working with like let's say it's for touch and Zalim. Um, how to explain this? I'm not sure it's in graphic design. I learned the most in with Zalim and Touch. I think it's more in entrepreneurship though. So I'm not sure you're interested in knowing that, or if you still want to speak about graphic design. You can, of course.
No, I
If I
mean
continue
it's
answering this question, I will
cool.
have to move a little bit off road again.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
Okay, so the value of having teammates who work on a project at the same level as you do, sorry, so that you're not alone anymore. At first, when I started, I thought you can build a company on your own, and it's not exactly possible. I realized it when I looked around in the cardistry environment, and I realized like every brand starting properly have at least somebody else, except for Zach, but he had like great support from the OGs, and I was alone. I had like ideas, sometimes graphic ideas, but I couldn't actually put them into reality because of money, financial desire, whatever. And also, I failed with the French edition, so it was kind of a little bit of a money disaster. And well, not a disaster, but I mean, it didn't pay out, so
Oh,
it was
yeah.
kind of sad. Um, yeah, being alone, you can't bounce back on your own ideas because you're alone. Even if you have a mirror, you can't really bounce back. You can try a little bit, but it won't go too far. And having people to bounce back on your ideas and you bounce back on their ideas, I mean, you have a feedback continuously, and so you progress a lot faster, a lot better, and the project gets stronger, uh, quicker, and just better. I don't know how to explain this. I think it's pretty obvious, of course, what I'm saying. But I sometimes hear about people who want to learn a bit from me how I did it, I mean, how I started the project, and they're alone and they have a good ambition, but they do not understand the necessity of not being, I mean, of having a teammate with connection in the industry. Because also, to be honest, the design, um, everybody loves design in the community, but to succeed as a call brand, you need names with your brand to make it work.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I have this
Yeah,
stuff,
that.
and so that's why also Touch picked me up. They thought maybe all together, we can actually make it happen because like we're complementary. I bring something for them, for the whole company, and they bring something for me. And their help is invaluable. Uh, and that's I think what I realized is absolutely critical. You can't be alone if you want to succeed in a great project, unless you're like a tyrant and you want to do it. But honestly, yeah, you always need teammates who are coordinated and organized, and who respond to emails and who respond to emergencies. Like who are motivated and have incentive to complete projects from A to Z.
Yeah, that's right.
That.
About
Yeah.
having teammates and people who you can rely on, because there's some things that even you will know, but are people more experienced about, and that's something that happens all the time. And yeah, having people is really valuable.
Like a quick example is like I used to work alone in all the momentum projects, only with Kevin, but Kevin was giving me like feedback and stuff like that. But then I got SAS into it, and something that it could have took me like 3 months to do, we did it in a week because we were two persons working on it 24/7.
Yeah.
And it was better than just working alone. That's really
It's
true.
a lot faster, huh? Also because like
Yeah.
when you're going to lack of motivation. I mean, you're always together, so there's like I don't know, a thermocycle. I don't know what to call this. You keep how to say this in English? You keep pushing each other's, and like when one falls, like loses motivation a little bit, the other one is still there to bring him back. And yeah, I don't know if you can call this a callback, but it's invaluable. Yeah.
It's like healthy competition between each other.
Yep, totally. Because in the end, you have the same goal. So the competition is actually also very important, so that nobody in the team feels undervalued. Otherwise, there can be frustration that grow progressively, and it can be difficult. Like when we start a project with new people and everything, especially when we're very young, and we think it's all gonna be okay, all gonna be right, and as a community, we're gonna work succeed. It rarely happens this way, and you realize that finding the right teammates who have actual motivation. Sometimes you can find them early in life. That's what I often see around. I mean, publicly. But other than that, I realize that it's difficult to find people who have concrete, solid incentives and motivations to complete a project. I've met people who have great, incredible, genius ideas for real, but they have a hard time launching them, making them realities. And even if you want to help, they still have problems to put themselves, and I guess you can't do anything about that. So you just need to look around again and again, more and more, until you finally find somebody who has an entrepreneur mindset.
Yeah, that's really true. And also coming back to what you said earlier, that when you're launching a brand, you need names behind it, and that's really true because I have seen a lot of good decks, designs coming out,
falling into the darkness.
but they do not get funded or anything because they do not have the contacts with like relevant people in the industry and stuff like that.
Yeah. It's actually the most difficult part to how to say this. You know that the only, like, I read that on a blog a couple of years ago on Cardistry blog, that the only currency in Cardistry is clout. And
Facts.
yeah, and it's just how it works. You need the cardistry skills. If you don't have the skill, then you're still there. You're still a cardist. You still go to jams. You're still in. But to make it, you either need to get closer to like a big brand and to be like featured by them, or to be one of the big cardists. And it's not that it's sad. I guess I mean, I've been thinking about this for years now, and to me now it seems like it's kind of logical the way the community works. I mean, there's no real school of cardistry. I mean, there's a channel of Jazzpass, but I mean, there's no real school of cardistry. When people pick up cardistry, or at least it's this way in France, people start on their own until they finally reach out to the community. It's kind of a self-taught community, And so what matters is what will make your mind blow, and also what other people think this is great, or this is bad, and this is bad, and somehow define a little bit what is hype and what is not, only because the right people speak about it or use the cards, or because because of other influential parameters. I lost my train of thought a little bit, but yeah, we were speaking about
No, yeah,
the
yeah. I get what you're saying. Yeah. So it's true. Like I can't get mad to that mindset of like the currency's cloud, because myself, I'm a product of that cloud, because I was barely known like 3 4 years ago, but then I got featured by two big companies and brands, and then everyone started to know me, like, oh, you are the card guy and
yeah.
the photos guy and stuff like that. Like, yeah, I've been doing this for years, and just now you're knowing about me. But fair enough. Like, hard work pays in a way.
How what? Sorry.
Hard work
Oh,
pays
yeah,
in a way.
yeah. Hard work
Yeah,
pays. Hard work pays if you're a little bit lucky. You always need a little bit of luck,
yeah,
because life
yeah,
doesn't uh, tell you in advance what it has prepared for you. But
yeah.
yeah,
That's a good point, because when people ask me what do I do for a living, and I say I design playing cards, they do. Oh, you're really talented then, because there are a few number of known playing card designers. If you think about it, there are like 10 at most,
yeah, that's
and like I tell them, yeah, I'm talented, but I'm also really lucky because I did the right thing at the right moment in the right place. And that's how like I became known in a way, because I was really lucky to get featured.
that's um, that's also what I feel for me. I got lucky to meet Ladislas and Dimitri through Fabien Desfaucheux a couple of years ago. I got really super lucky, because that's how they got interested in my work, and I mean, I made a bit of a name for myself, like a little bit of a name before that, of course, through Diva playing cards, and also there I got lucky. I got super lucky. That was just because you remember if 2016, 2017, and still early 2018, it was like the golden era of custom decks, and they were everywhere. Every single day you had a new Kickstarter,
Yeah.
and somehow it was easy to make it there, like ICOs and cryptos in 2017. And I started right in time, and I managed to go through, and still I was struggling, and then poof, through one single interaction with somebody, it went a couple of months later. It landed with me meeting Touch and the Touch guys, and there I am today. It was just one single interaction that made it to me being able now to not properly, but at least live a bit off of card making.
Yeah. Also, talking about Diva, like what happened to Diva?
It's still. I was thinking about it today again. It's still It's still on. Actually, I know it seems like it's dead, but it's still on. It's just that now it's part of Zalem, and like the Diva series will continue. I just don't want to continue it now. I think I want a space for Zalem first, and I also have a one or two like series. Well, I can't speak too much about the plans for Zalem. Sorry, and I can't speak too much about the other plans. But just to say about Diva, it will come back in the future if everything goes right.
All right,
I almost
that's great to
almost
hear.
slipped the some info that
Yeah, don't
that's
worry.
the comfiness of the conversation.
Don't worry. If you say something, we can edit it out if you
Yeah,
want. So it doesn't
talk
really
about it
matter.
later on. Don't worry. But
Yeah.
thanks for
Also, I have another question. Like, what the Salem means.
Okay. So I think I explained it a little bit in Cardify early this year or last year maybe 2020. I'm a huge fan of a manga called Gunmu, Gunnm. It's like the one of the only manga I've read in my life. I've
I know.
discovered it when I was 13 years old, and it blew my mind. Okay, forever, and I'm still reading it. Okay, this like the only manga collection I have is all the Gunmu manga, and I'm such a fan for reasons that are very large and deep. And I was like, one of my favorite thing in Ganmu is the flying city over Kuzotetsu, Zalem, and it's just half of a name. There's like I can't spoil the manga, but at least I can talk about Zalem. Yeah, that's the manga.
Yes, I know
Like,
that
Oh,
one.
that's the
That's
name.
really good. It's
Oh,
really good.
is the Alita
Yes, Alita.
Valencia?
Alita.
Oh,
How they put in
yeah, I
yes.
wanted to get into that. Like,
Oh, but yeah,
ever since I saw the movie, I'm like, yeah, I have to get into the manga or something related
and a
to
shit
that. It's so
better than the anime. The anime, actually, the movie is kind of based on the anime. It's kind of sad because they worked on the movie for 10 years. So idyllic. I don't know if it's the right word in English, but like it seems like a dreamy world, and
Yeah.
it's so much different. It's
Like
hell
reading.
in a dystopian reality, like in Ganmu, because the world was so horrible. Yeah, those are the first pages, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, so you will definitely love the manga if you love the movie. I hope so, though. It's incredible. You need a working brain, of course. I mean, you need to be into it. Like, sorry, that's me. Yeah. It's
Don't
you
worry.
have to do that though. It's because I'm quite
Yeah, I
my
will.
legs. What I was saying, sorry. The well, anyway,
You yeah, you were talking about the manga.
yeah, I know, but which where I was again? Well, anyway, the city, I love it, and the flying city Zalem, I kind of love it, also for what it means, and it's how to explain this. It's I'll have to spoil a little, but it's a city that is for the world below, so that it's a flying city, so it's only seen from the ground of Earth. And it seems like the goal for a better life, a life where just like the utopian dream, okay, of the perfect life in a perfect city in a perfect world. And when she arrives there, she realizes at first that it's completely destroyed, first to start off, and then that it was not like expected. It was actually more like a Brave New World. If you've read the book.
Oh yeah,
Okay, so I
yeah,
think it was
yeah.
inspired by Brave New World in 1984 because it's close, but like more updated to contemporary world. Yeah, this is the city. So I think what you see above is Jeru. I'm not sure where is this again, but at in the bottom panel, what you see is Zalem, yeah, and that's a city. So it's like a city of dreams, an utopian dream that actually in reality is completely shattered. It's more like an authoritarian, joyless, not joyless, but controlled life where your brain is actually a chip and your emotions are not dictated but reprogrammed so that you can't do this or can't do that. But it's difficult. Yeah, I can't say too much about the story because it's still a manga that people should discover. I think it's one of the mangas that popularized mangas around the world in the 90s. If I remember well the history behind.
So basically, like the city is more or less like 1984 because I don't know if you have
I
read
haven't
that
finished.
book.
I only had like a third of 1984, and I gave it to somebody else, and then I went to buy it again, and I forgot. But I read a Brave New World. To me, it looks more like a Brave New World.
Oh, well, right. So everyone is like the same and really stale. They don't have like they don't enjoy life in a way.
I didn't get that. Can you say again?
The life is really like stale and like they do not enjoy life that much.
Yeah, well, more like they're not aware of what's going on.
Oh,
They're
okay, okay. Yeah, yeah.
unconscious because other trick is that their brain is then a chip, and so really it's like reprogrammed, and it can be monitored through a greater centralized computer. They have like in the manga they have like super quantum computer minds, some stuff like that. Of course, it's highly developed, so they can do a lot of. The author achieves a lot of technical, technological achievements that we don't have yet, of course. And by the way, the good thing about the manga is at the end, when he comes up with some new technological idea, he explains how it works on the last pages. Just saying that for those who want to read them.
Yeah, I will definitely get into the manga. It sounds really good.
Yeah, and so
I have another question.
just
Well,
just
go
to
on, go
let
on, go
people
on.
get it a little bit better. The Zalem, the name I wanted for my brand because I just love the city. I wanted to keep it this way for the style. I added the little like we call it Macron, the accent on the E. I don't know the term in English. And the idea behind Zalem is I think I read it in Cardify before again. It's more like a little child. Let's say it's my inner child. Maybe it's easier to understand this way. Who kind of is fascinated by the world he live in, which is on Zalem, and a new kind of Zalem, let's say, my own version of it. And it's a dystopian reality where he just wants to rebring the colors because only I can't spoil this in Zalem in the manga, but there's something crucial to understand my point of view that is in the manga, and I'm kind of questioning myself like right now if I should give it or not. Maybe not right now, maybe later on. But so you
All
got a
right.
question because otherwise it'll be also too long. So go on.
Yeah, yeah. I have another question. Like, how do you approach your ideas when designing? Since you really have a unique style when doing stuff. It's like really vibrant and modern, but at the same time, something conceptual.
So someone came on my personal profile in 2020 when the Kickstarter was on for the first Zalem deck, which was Regenesis, and he told me something that was it looks like something I would have done when I was a child, but better. And I told him I'm gonna send you a deck. I hope I did it by the way, because I'm remembering this. I'm gonna check in my on Instagram later on, because he got it right. When I did Regenesis, so when I started Zalem, um, oh fuck, I lost my idea. It was just like there's this studio in Paris, in between Lille and Paris. Sorry, that's called Studio Les Canailles, and I own a couple of stuff from them. And they have this style also close to Mark David Spengler, a German guy from Hamburg, I think. Who and they have this sort of drawing style with markers or paper cut, and I absolutely love them. Okay, I'm absolutely in love with everything they do, especially the studio. Everything they do, I love it, and it was inspired by them, except that they use kind of um, sharp lines, let's say corners and stuff, and I went the other way. But it was really inspired by them, the way they use colors. Of course, I use a completely different color palette, and overall, it doesn't even look that much like them. Um, but that's how I was inspired. And after that, when the project picked up, sorry, I thought I could go farther than this. So for the stairs, the second one, No, the second one was already developed when I launched Regenesis. It was developed since like December 2019. But after this one, I started realizing I can go a bit further. So now we're going to to bring more ideas that at the same time resemble the first two, and at the same time will expand the style that I've showcased so far. It will get a little bit closer. I mean, through the expansion, I will get a bit closer to what I do on my personal Instagram page.
Okay. About something that I wanted to ask, like when you mention the process and about the name of Salon, I thought about what what about, like, not just the process, like the process you mentioned, but is there something you like have an inspiration of process about, or like philosophy on working on?
Yeah. There's one is that if you don't have an idea, do something else.
Okay.
It's that it always worked for me, always. It doesn't mean it works instantly. Of course, it can take weeks. But if I'm like if I'm starting a project, I have time. Except this year, this time I'm taking like extra time for everything. But usually, I may take, like, you give me 6 months. I may take 6 months. But in the end, at the end of 6 months, I finally get the fucking idea. And sometimes it can take like literally 5 months, 3 weeks, 6 days, and then
That's fucking true, bro. That's, oh my god, that's really
the
true.
thing is that if I force it, I will get ideas, but they're like half measure. It's uh,
Yeah,
it's not bad, but it's still bad because it could be a lot better. If I don't force it, at some point it comes to me just because completely out of the blue, like a balcony
yeah,
sipping tea or something, or I'm in the park, or I'm under the shower, or not. No, actually never under the shower, oddly, but I do like never have the right idea when I want to. It's just at some point, and then I write it down, or I just memorize it visually in my mind, which I did today because I was looking for a new deck for some specific occasion, and I finally got the idea, so I wrote it down. That's what I do, and I try to take advance. Let's say to get ahead of schedule. I know that I need to be like always at least a couple of decks ahead just to be sure I don't get overloaded and out of sudden go out of inspiration when I need to release a new deck, because I don't want to force a design. I don't want to be something too rushed out or something. So as I said, if you don't if you're not inspired, don't do just do something else. Just do something else.
I I totally feel you in that, because like when I have a job or something,
Yeah.
I the first thing I ask is, when is the deadline? And if I have like 2 months, I will just chill for the first, I don't know, month and a half, just to get ideas and stuff. And then I will do it once I have the idea. And I do it perfectly because I took all that time to think on what I was going to do. So I totally get you.
Yeah, same.
Someone might say, no, you're lazy or something, but no, you're not lazy. You're working smarter, not harder.
That's
Yes.
actually true, and I get this also from my family sometimes. Like, you haven't done shit for a couple of days.
Bro, yeah, I
Actually
know.
working, but sometimes also for the client. Sometimes, like, if I feel like the time, because if you take 6 months, it depends the way you invoice. But if you're going to take 6 months, and you're just going to work like 3 days, you can invoice, of course, 6 months. You need to invoice 3 days.
Yeah, of
So
course.
it depends the
Yeah.
way it works. Like, if it's just a side project that you don't have to finish by the month to get the bills paid. Um, But yeah, if you
Yeah, but
yes,
regarding that, that's why I usually charge by project, not by day.
it depends.
So,
If I can charge,
well,
I
yeah,
will.
that's true. It
If I
depends.
will charge by hour, I will do because then I have a greater a margin. If I do by project and eventually the project is like postponed and it's not your fault, you'll still postpone, and that sucks because
Yeah, yeah, that happened to me
yeah.
once.
So I try to do by hour, and but sometimes what I do is I reduce like if I if they're going to wait 1 month and only work 3 days and I spent 5 days, no, maybe 2 weeks thinking, but it was completely unproductive because I was doing it on the side, also like while doing other things. I won't count the hours thought but lost. I mean, in the research and
Yeah.
development, like I call it R&D for the project. I don't know for you guys, but I try to. I know that a lot of people just invoice those hours like fine, fine. They just double their time just by adding the hours they took to think about the project, and it would definitely make me a lot better financially speaking. But I don't do it because I don't think like it's effective. It's like we're saying, it's really effective. It works so well, but at the same time, I feel like cheating the game a little bit because it still look like I'm not working, or at least not doing what I'm supposed to do, like doing some other work. And yeah, I don't know. I feel this kind of imposter feeling sometimes when I take too long to complete a project, only because I spent 6 months vaguely thinking about it until the right moment when I get the right idea and I can finally get the work done. So I'm not sure I was clear. You want me to repeat something?
Yeah,
Yes, it
yeah.
was. It was
No,
very
it
clear.
was. It
Yeah,
was.
and I can
Yeah.
relate to that.
And I think everyone that designs can relate to that, to be
Yeah,
honest.
I
it's
hope
it's it's
that I'm not
something that
alone.
happens in not just design or visual things, but in like another everything that has a certain level of creativity has this problem really, and and this process like I was in a course of schoolism is from professionals in the industry, and
Yeah.
one of that one course was about that especially like the process of creating characters, but was about the mindset and everything and the process about creating a character, not just techniques. And that process that you both gave was the incubation process, when you just live life and got knowledge, observation. The first phase of creating something is just live, uh, observe, and when you have a little bit of time or maybe a lot of time,
Mhm.
then you have the idea, because all that experience you have while doing the incubation process,
Yeah.
uh, well, it finalizes the incubation and born something new, and that's when, and I can relate to that. It's all of that you were talking about. It's
Yeah.
fascinating.
I didn't know you called that incubation, but now I know. Learn learn a new word. Okay.
It's same. I didn't know about that.
Yeah.
So I mean, you learn something new every day. That's one of the
Yeah, also in
things.
English, but then I will forget about it in 2 weeks if nobody. I don't use it for 2 weeks. I will forget about it, of course.
Of
Uh,
course.
How do you know when something is done? Like when you are designing something, how do you know that it's done?
oh, it's a
Because
good question.
like myself, I'm a perfectionist kind of, because I would rather post one thing a month if it's something I truly like, instead of posting something I like it, but not that much every day like I used to do?
Dude, that's a very good question, and I'm thinking very deeply right now. When I was younger, very young, I went to Spain, and I think it was Gaudi, maybe Gaudi. I was like in the villa or the place. It's got like it's a museum now anyway, and there was a quote that said, "True artists know when to stop." And for very long, I thought about this quote, about what it means, because it's actually true. Sometimes when you create something, you don't know where to stop, and so at the end, you destroy it, which is very, it used to happen very often. And today, now that you make me think about it, I realize that I stop, and I don't even realize it. I just stop. I know that's what I want. Like, I don't know. I'm not sure. Um, I think, no, I have no idea. When it comes to my, maybe I'll try. Give me a second. When I do my posters, um, I think what I look for is a balance in the whole. I don't know if it's because of my synesthesia and works with the I have synesthesia, so I have a lot of perception in colors about a lot of things. And when I do my designs, when the whole thing has a balance that clicks, then it's done, and I don't think about it again. It's done this way. And if it's gonna be different, then it's gonna be very different at the end. If I'm going, like, if I don't post it for a while and then I come back to it and I think maybe I can change something. But if I do, then it also validates the reason why I didn't post it in the first place, because it was not really finished. It was just like the first impression that looked okay-ish or just right, until I realized that something is missing. And when I look at Regenesis, Zalem, or any of the device or any of the posts I've done, well, a couple of the posts I've done, sometimes I deleted them because I thought it was done but not okay. But most of them, I don't think I would want to add anything more or remove anything less. And I'm not perfectly sure how to explain this, but very naturally, I know it's done, and I think
It's
glad.
just something that you feel.
Yes, I think
Yeah,
I'm
that's
very
a lot.
glad now that you make me think about this, because not knowing when to stop can be a very destructive process. And when you want to change something just because you're not satisfied, and actually, there's something. No, there's this. Maybe I'm not completely honest about this. Maybe I'm missing half the story, because with touch, I remember now those moments when at the very moment, at the very ending, I want to change something. But usually it's not the back design. And like for my posters, it's the same. The back design and the posters remain the same. Like it's done when it's done, I know it by heart. But when it comes to the faces of the cards or the tuck case, and once it happened for something that you might see in the future, um, I can't speak about it yet. I changed the whole thing, not the whole thing, the whole color palette, like 1 minute before we sent to print, and that was a very good call, by the way. That was a very good call. That's because that maybe it was because that deck, it took me too long to finish it. So at the end, I mean, to really decide to finish it to send it to print. Yeah, so I'm not sure I answered the question, because once again I went too far. But I'm
No,
not
yeah,
sure to know when I think it's done. Maybe it's just, as I said, the balance. Like I try to find an overall balance between the colors, the contrast, and the white space and the negative space and stuff like that. See, maybe like with only two elements on a white sheet, maybe I'm trying to find something that works with them in balance. Like I don't, there has to be something that makes me feel like it's something is going on, just like with my photos. But I have no idea how to explain this. I'm very sorry about that.
yeah. No, yeah. I think I get you. It's something you learn to know when it's done. Something that you feel.
Yes, thing
Yes,
Uh,
inside
it's
me
intuitive.
that tells me it's okay. Like it's what I want. Like it's killer. This shit is killer. Alex, just post it now. And then I don't
yeah.
post it, but still. Uh,
It
Yes,
happens. It
I
happens.
feel you. I feel you. I feel you.
yeah, that's
So, what's an artist you would like to collab outside Cardistry Touch?
Uh-huh. I have my ideas. So
Of course, besides
there's
myself, you know.
us. The list is a bit long. I'll try to get it short. There's an artist. I can't. Maybe I can, but I'm not sure if I can. So I won't say the name yet. But he's a good friend of mine. He's a codist and he's a graphic designer too. And you might know him already, but I can't say. Then there's God damn, I forgot his name. I forgot his fucking Mark David Spengler. Yeah, sorry, the German guy I talked about earlier, or maybe Studio Le Canaille, the studio, the French little studio I talked about earlier too. Of course, there's Eduardo Cavalieri and you, Pablo. I always think of you two, by the way, often together in my head because of your names. I'm sorry, just that it's an anecdote, but so you, Pablo, and Eduardo, and there's Lorenzo Cobo, and there's anyone, of course. I'll bet
Oh
somehow
yeah.
never happen, and I'm not sure if I actually want to, or I'm not sure. I really love anyone. Okay, I really love the deck
Like
design. Maybe not everything, but the most of,
like
yeah. Sorry.
like your grail is anyone, right? That's the one that you would like to collab with.
Because
And
the brand,
it
yeah, go ahead.
and in for me it's Dealer's Grip because I feel that Dealer's Grip has the same style that I do.
Oh, actually, I that's my memory because of course, Dealer's Grip. I want to collab with Oliver. He's a great designer now. I mean, I really love the progression that he's gone through. The decks, the progression, it's really cool. I've got his latest decks. I bought them, and I really stopped buying decks in general. I don't buy Fontaines anymore because I have too many. Um, but yeah, about Dealer's Grip, it's insanely good, huh? And it's getting better and better all the time. Uh, but I prefer anyone as like as a whole. I think Tobias, Oliver, and even Noel when he was there, they they're always anyone, the brand. Like I don't know how to explain this, but whether it's individually or the way we speak about them or the way people want to be seen by anyone or their Instagram post. Um, there's like in my brain, or maybe it's just my brain, but I have anyone is like the most identifiable brand with Fontaine, of course. But I kind of stopped following Fontaine, so I'm not including it in the bunch. But for not to offend Fontaine fans, of course, Fontaine is very identifiable, of course. But like anyone is more um God damn, how to explain this? As a whole, is it's more solid. It's more charismatic. Um, it's stronger. I don't know. And the
Yeah.
word anyone works so well.
Yeah, I
There are
know.
so many
I
applications for
know.
this, jokes for this name, and also there's one point on one day on Instagram. I was looking through the I don't know what to call it, the section again, like the research section, and I found a deck, and I was wondering, is this anyone who did it? And I was thinking, yeah, it could be anyone, baby. And you know the
Yeah.
phrase on the first deck they did the checkerboard, and I thought, yeah, that's why it's such a good brand, because you can that the way this brand name can work in a sentence this way and actually be so powerful, it's really amazing. Also, the way they deal with the image, whether it's in video, the ways they impose themselves, the way they even install trends and a lot of trends. It's almost like they I don't know what to call it. I don't know the words in English for this. But as if anyone was really a complete soul, whereas Fontaine for me is more industrial now. I still like Fontaine, of course, but it's more industrial for me. So I prefer anyone as a brand. So of course I would like to collab with them one day. At the same time, I'm not sure if I'd really want to. Maybe I like to have my like to be still independent from anyone and to have my own stuff. Yeah. Sorry, it was still a very long explanation, but
It's
No,
fine.
yeah, I get you. And the thing about brand names is really true because I think it was last night or like 2 days ago, I was reading some stuff that Virgil Abloh has on his site. I don't know if you know Virgil, the owner of Off-White.
I think thanks to Ladislas. But yeah, I know the guy. I think I know what he looks like, but I am not sure of the name. That's why.
Yeah, well, he has a section on his site about how to name your brand.
Oh,
And of people that know about Virgil used to have a brand called Pyrex, but then he changed it to Off-White. And when asking about that, he says that if it's broke, fix it, because the brand name is the most important part of a brand itself. And thinking about that, like, yeah, you're right. Anyone is such a perfect brand name because it's simple, it's easy to remember, and it's unique.
Yeah, that's true. And it's unique, and at the same time, it's super fucking common, but not as a brand name.
Yeah.
It's too common to be a brand name, and it's still gonna be a brand name. I was actually, I think I was inspired by anyone last year or this year. I think it was this year to create multiple fake brands just for the names, trying to find quirky names like anyone and to create their logos and identities just home. Just doing this to play around. But yeah, it's so anyone has been an inspiration for me. I think also. That's why I would like to collaborate with them if I had new opportunities, of course. Other than-
Yeah, and I feel that it's the same with Salem because it's just one word and it's really in your head.
Yeah.
Like you get, oh, okay, Salem. What does it mean? Okay,
Oh.
sounds really interesting and stuff.
The mystery, yeah. I didn't.
Yeah, the mystery.
Maybe
Yeah,
it works. I hope.
yeah, it does. It does. Well, for me, it does.
Yeah, for me too. It really works. It's short. It's like easy to pronunciate, and it gets in your mind.
And it has that extra that if people know about Alita, like they will, oh, Salem, the city.
Yes.
So it has that extra.
Yes. For those who know Zalen, the manga, they recognize the name instantly. But those on the manga are not that many, so it's still rare that people come to me for this. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's the same with a brand I'm doing right now. It's called Misprint, but it's called Misprint, and the meaning of misprint is something that is written wrong, and the name Misprint is wrong because I took out letters. So I thought about all that before doing it.
I'll have to see it. I'm interested.
Yeah, I will send it to you later. So we have been going for like an hour and a half. So I just have one last question,
Sure.
and we can end up the episode. So what can we expect from Cordis to Touch and Salim and Diva in the future?
I'm not sure I'm like allowed to answer in detail or even in surface. But
Yeah.
as long as people keep buying, we'll keep making decks. That's all I can say. I'm sure. There are of course new stuff to expect from Zalem and from Touch this year. But I know how they want it to be communicated on, and so I'm really sure that I can't say much more than this. I'm sorry.
Okay,
No
don't
problem.
worry. Do you have
Keep tuned.
Do you have any finishing thoughts or something you want to say to anyone listening before we end up the episode?
I should have thought about that earlier. Usually on the spot like that, I have not. That's like in an interview at the end when they ask you, "Do you have a question?" I'm like, "No, not yet, not yet. I will have a one." No, but it was nice meeting up with Saslagar. Sorry, didn't know about him, so now I'll follow you and I screenshot also your page so that I remember the name because I have.
Thanks.
Just
Or
to be
just
sure.
ask, like if you have problems like pronouncing my name, don't worry. It happens all the time. Sometimes people just call me Sass. Like
yes, that's okay. That's cool. That's cool. But Saslagar is a really cool looking name. And like,
thank you.
Is it Mexican or is it something else?
Well, it's like it's my name, but I just took up some letters of my full name, and yeah.
Okay,
But if you want an easier way to contact him, just tell me, and I can.
No, it's okay.
Arrange a meeting for both of you guys.
I just took the screenshot because I know that my memory when I want to recall the name, I'll be like, what the fuck is the name again? That's why I have screenshots and to help my visual memory because I at least remember when I take screenshots. But anyway, I just have my ways to take my notes because I don't take notes, so I have my ways. The final thought is that it was a great conversation actually, and it was really interesting to speak with designers this time because usually it's different. The questions were interesting. I just hope that I didn't go off-road too many times and for too long because I know that I can go off topic sometimes very quickly without even realizing. But that's all.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. It was a really good conversation.
Yes.
I learned a lot of stuff from you. Sass, do you have any finishing thoughts?
Well, about that, I guess I can. Like, there's some places where you can find inspiration for something. Like that stuff I was getting when Alex gave the meaning of the name, and it's really interesting how you can find not just people but things and how you can add that to your product or your company or anything really, how it all connects, and it was very interesting.
I suppose everybody has his own way or her own way. I'm glad I have my own, but I still think it's really not optimized. Like it's still wild, very wild. It works because sometimes I can get the enough time to get through the project. But
yeah, that's true because I found out like not recently, like a year or two ago, that I work way better under pressure. That if I have a month to do something, I would rather wait until the last week to do it because I know I will work the best at that time.
Well, so maybe you'll wait, because that used to be true for me, but I'm not sure if it's still when it comes to graphic design. I think it still works. I think it still works. But like I need it can't be the last day. It has to be like 2 weeks before, 1 week before.
Yeah.
So still at the end, but still because otherwise I'm so much in stress, there's no creation at all. So for graphic design it'll be more complicated. But for the rest, everything else, if I can take 1 month, like 30 days, I will take 31 days. That's for sure.
yeah, that's true. Okay, thank you so much, Alex, for being here. We will definitely have you back at some point.
Nice.
It was such a pleasure to speak with you.
Same, guys, same. And I'll be back with pleasure. and hope maybe next year. Well, you'll tell me. And is it like early morning for you or afternoon?
It is 2:24 p.m.
Okay.
So it's not that late. Yeah. For you, it's like 9
And
p.m., right?
9:30,
9 or
yeah,
10?
9:30. And I'm an early bird now. Since last year, I
Oh.
started sleeping early. But ask the guy sometimes, don't worry. But yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Alex.
Thank you, really.
Thank you, everyone, for listening.
Really nice meeting.
Yeah.
Have a nice day.
Have a nice day. Yeah.
Same to you. Have a nice day. All right.